In Birmingham, a party of quite another sort met to hear the Chancellor of the Exchequer sum up Britain's great recovery effort. Said Mr. Gaitskell,
"It is, of course, true that as this year draws to its close, and we're only, 2 days off now, the end of 1950, the clouds of war darken the sky and bring with them, to all of us, fresh anxieties and new tasks. But you know, before we say goodbye to the old year, I think we might remember its brighter side. It has been, when all is said and done, both for our own country and for the Commonwealth, a year of outstanding economic progress. There has been in this year, one might say perhaps particularly in the second half of it, a great surge forward, as a result of which we have been brought at least to our immediate objective, to pay our way as a nation, or as you put it, Mr. Chairman, I think, to stand on our own feet, unaided, without the prop of friendly help. Well, sir, it is, I'm afraid, clear that in 1951, our economic prospect is bound to be dominated by the impact of rearmament, both here and in other countries. This brings with it an even more urgent need for higher productivity, and also, quite clearly, certain serious new obstacles in the way of achieving it.
serious new obstacles, shortages too, but none more serious than those which made silent our looms and stopped the wheels of so many an industry in 1947. Those were days when machinery lay idle for lack of raw materials which could only be bought with dollars, or by gold, which was dwindling fast. General Marshall's aid plan was an act of good neighborliness, which Britons will never forget. It gave us breathing space. It gave us those vital dollars. Steadily, output mounted. 3 years of effort, and production rose by 25%. Nor was Marshall aid confined to export work alone. Into Britain's workshops came the tools we needed to build our defences. In this Leeds ordnance factory, for example, Britain's Centurion Tank is in mass production. It is work which has proved vital to the United Nations in Korea. When, a year earlier than planned, the US and Britain found it possible to suspend Marshall aid, William Batt, E.C.A. chief in Britain, said,
"Stands where she ought to stand, squarely on her own feet, without the necessity for relying on the friendly shoulders of this youngster growing up on the other side of the Atlantic, because there is something in this, in the understanding between these two nations, the common language which the Lord Mayor has so sweetly impressed me at this lunch. There's something between these two nations which gives them a particular appreciation of liberty, and which places on their shoulders, therefore, a particular responsibility of leadership in this trying period."
Responsibility, leadership. Two nations united in defense of principles cherished by both. The scene at Whitton Airfield in Huntingdonshire is typical. Twin organizations, each self-contained, each with its own ranks, its own disciplinary background, its own prestige, yet each adding its quota to the sum of overall efficiency. Nor is cooperation a one-way route. While training flights are planned at Whitton, many Britons on whose experience the training is based are leading US air groups elsewhere. This R.A.F. operations room is background to the briefing of an American crew for a live bombing raid on Heligoland. The course of US bombers will be plotted here as they take off from other drones in Kent, Oxfordshire, Suffolk and East Anglia, from airfields throughout the country, all provided and maintained free of cost for these men, who fly in skies kept free by men from English homes. So in these uneasy days of peace is the model of wartime integration preserved. each force with its identity distinct and well-defined, but ready on the instant to mount joint operations under joint control. From Whitton flew the first Blenheim to raid Kiel 11 years ago. Now an American B-50 takes off. An R.A.F. Lincoln follows on a separate mission. So, in English skies, history shapes its course once more, as Briton and American fly side by side. Power rests in every detail of their outline. Security lies in the skies around. The shape of airborne cooperation shows that the lesson of 1950 has been learned, that strength must reinforce right to bring us through.